Welcome to B&B Studios, the home of Central Coast Rugby. Let's get stuck into another week of opinions and oversights from Berner and Barthy as they bring us the latest news. Good chat, good footy, good fun. Take it away, boys.
Welcome everybody back to the B&B Unplugging Central Coast Rugby podcast. Mate, we've got to start this episode with a bit of bad news. Thommo has been suspended.
Thommo has been suspended. So, start of the year, we already gave out 2 warnings, and that's it. We
Three strikes.
Have 3 strikes and you're out, and that's a policy. It's with a heavy heart that we say goodbye to Thommo.
It's not goodbye. It's
it was for me. It felt like goodbye for me.
Marketing opportunity missed.
Definitely.
Battles round.
Yes.
Battle of the Beaches.
It was obviously, we marked it as a bit of a rivalry between for the Battle of the North, and there was also the Terrigal Avoca, the Battle of the Beaches, but Nick Meyer also let us know that there was the Battle of the M1. I don't know how he missed that. Razorbacks versus Hornsby.
Yeah. It was a battle of Pennant Hills, wasn't it, really?
It was. It definitely was. And there was also the Battle of Brisbane Water, which was Gosford and Woy Woy, which turned into be the Battle of the Battlers in the end, for this year anyway. So it was battle round, and we just somehow missed it. So
we didn't miss it. Thommo didn't act upon it.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why I threw myself in that scenario.
No.
Clearly me taking the blame for anything. Yeah,
I can dodge blame. I can see it coming a mile away.
So yeah, apologies on behalf of Thommo, but as we said, it won't happen ever again. We're making sure of that.
So, mate, how was your week?
My week was good. Nice sunny day for rugby, or cool day for rugby actually. It wasn't too bad where I was, but good games. And obviously awesome to have 2 night games and 2 day games as well. So fortunately couldn't get to the night ones, but did manage to get to one of the day games in the Gosford Woy Woy game. So mate, but the main thing is, the last 2 weeks I've asked how your week's been, and you've had negative news. So this week. How has your week been? Is there positive news?
Oh, mate, there's great news.
Yay!
My Red Devils, we've won. We've won. I always knew they were going to make it. My Red Devils.
Yeah, they
got up.
They got there. And something that you will notice in this episode, if you're on YouTube as well, is that Barthy had one of the great bed shits on the weekend. Where we, it was all in. I think as you're watching this episode, if you're listening back, you're not going to get the full experience because we won't put it in. We only put it in for the YouTube, but. Barthy wanted to do the sounds of Saturday, but he wanted to make it a video experience. So he wanted to sort of film all the interviews and wanted to get the professional recording equipment and everything. So he's a drunken purchase one night on Kogan.com has got in this microphone that he's like,
I made that bloody stick mic.
It was amazing. I appreciate it. It was kind of MacGyvered up this, I don't even know what you call it.
Stick mic.
It's a stick mic. It's a microphone of sorts. And so he's gone to the Terrigal Avoca game in the hope of capturing some good footage and some interviews and stuff, which I think you've done really well. But I think it's the last time you'll probably do it. I'll let you take it away from here in the experience that you had trying to do that.
Well, let me tell you, right? I was trying to drink beer, watch the game, record, and film. That's 4 things at once. I'm flat out doing one of those things at once. And... yeah, it was difficult. I didn't enjoy it. I'm not doing it again. But
you're a one thing at a time kind of guy. So trying to manage all that stuff, video, audio, social.
I'm a simple man.
You are.
There's going to be some random bloke abusing people. Get out of my bloody shot! Who's that dickhead standing behind underneath the tree filming with this thing? Anyway, if we've got any. Budding young filmmakers, get in contact with us here because we actually think there's a real lot of potential with it. But
there's a lot of potential. We're just not the people to carry out that potential.
100%.
So
100%.
There are some video clips and some interviews. So basically, the sounds of Saturday will all be videos. So as I said, you won't get them on the potty, but you'll get them if you're watching them on YouTube.
Do you want to throw to them now or throw to them later?
I think we'll throw to them later.
Okay.
I think we'll build the suspense sort of thing. Or if you're listening on the pod, it might be the time when you're like, I'm just going to turn this off and I might switch over to YouTube.
Yeah, that's it.
And get those views up from 6
actually,
whatever they are.
Don't switch over yet. I might say that. No, I'm going to unveil it now. Don't switch over the podcast to the YouTube just yet.
If you're driving, stay with Spotify. Stay with the podcast.
Yeah, just doing a few stats, and this is a big congratulations to all you people out there. But we've just had 15,000 unique listens on podcast platforms, which is awesome. We're we're approaching our 1,000 views on YouTube, which is really exciting. And thank you everyone who's got involved with us and from the start. We really appreciate your support, and that's very proud of that. Very proud indeed. So good stuff, everyone. Thank you for everyone listening in and getting behind the podcast. Continue to do so. Let's continue to grow it and grow the game. All right, mate. So, look, I want to have a quick chat with you about something.
Sure.
Now, for privacy reasons, I'm going to not name this person, but Burner, I'm pretty confident you and I don't look the same. We look different.
Different features. Definitely different physical features.
Both handsome men.
Definitely.
And I'm pretty confident that we don't sound the same.
Yep.
Yeah?
I think so.
So this unnamed buffoon calls me over at the clubhouse at the Terrigal Trojans versus the Avoca Beach match. And this is after the game, and I think this individual had enjoyed the afternoon.
A couple of bean brews.
Yeah, and anyway, called me over and asked me my thoughts on the game and having a nice chat, which was great, and it was awesome. And then he leaves me with this. He said, "Mate, can you do me a favour? Can you tell that Barthy to stop giving Avoca such a hard time? That Barthy's got to stop picking on Avoca and
Barthy's a prick." What'd you do?
I had to walk away.
What? You've been called Burner's best compliment you'll ever get.
Mate, please.
That's the best. That is gold.
Yeah, 100%.
The best is didn't waver from it at all. Just straight away, had the shits with how Barthy's been treating Avoca.
Yeah, he was committed. So anyway, and somehow
a little bit of research doesn't go astray, does it?
They're the same. The same old chestnut gets pulled out. Anyway,
that is brilliant. I haven't copped that yet. I haven't copped being called Barthy, but I dread the day, mate. Results.
Yeah, thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry.
Huge thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. If you need your feet checked, if you're a couple of rounds in, your feet start giving way on you.
Knees, ankles.
Didn't make that tackle on the weekend, probably your feet.
Yeah.
Go see Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry.
I've got some exciting news too. We should get Gussie on.
Yep.
Just to confirm, but I think he might be a fully fledged cobbler now. He's just finished his training, his cobbler training.
I didn't know what a cobbler was until we were speaking last time. Like, I just thought it was a nickname for somebody.
Nah, 100%.
Until I had to Google what a cobbler was.
Mate, it's a speciality. It is. So, let's do it.
We're going to the women's first?
Yeah, why not? Am I supposed to be getting them up?
Actually, let's do men's first.
Right.
You are supposed to be getting them up.
Okay.
So if you are listening, just bear with Barthy.
Yeah.
If you are watching, you can watch him try and work his phone. Close the different apps.
Just fill in the gaps.
Yeah. So let's start with the Battle of the Battlers, actually.
Battle of the Battlers.
The Battle of the Battlers.
Battle of Brisbane Water.
Battle of Brisbane Water. Gosford got the win 26 points to 7. So I went down to watch this game and to sort of see Gosford because I haven't seen Gosford this year. And Ben Shelley, mate, playing 10 is really good player. Just controlled the game really well, and it was pretty even sort of for the first half, and then Gosford sort of ran away with it in the end to blow up the scoreline. So, but I'll tell you what, the first 15 minutes was the battle of the battlers. There was no line out that threatened to go straight. There was no scrum that wasn't reset.
I played with a couple of hookers who could have joined in there.
There was just, it was, you're just watching it going like, when is it going to sort of kick into gear?
Yeah.
And there was one patch, probably from about maybe the 65th to the 75th minute, where it was gold.
Yeah,
everything was playing unreal, but there was just so much, teams that, trying to gel and everything. And then Gosford's obviously starting out, and, Woolworths team just, a bit lackluster with the, players they got. So, things didn't go too well for them. But, credit to Gosford, they stuck in there and, got the win in the end and just played smarter footy throughout.
Yeah.
And it was really, Zach Dykstra back for a game at halfback for Woy and had a really good number 8, which got him on the go for. But they just couldn't capitalise on the opportunities, and Gosford were just too good, just played tougher, smarter footy, so they get their first win of the year, which is huge for them.
Yeah,
first year since
absolutely.
being back in the club. So, massive ups to them. That's huge for them, and obviously building confidence, especially on the back of a bit of a hiding last week.
Well, I always knew they could do it.
You did.
Yeah. So congratulations to my Red Devils. Now, as a former great of the Woolwee Rugby Club and captain, inspirational leader,
I'll take that.
Did you get itchy feet at all?
Not watching that performance, to be completely honest. Sometimes you do, and it was something that people often ask. Like, if you go watch, like, you're still an age you can sort of play, and everyone's like, do you get itchy feet or anything like that to keep doing it? And I've never been somebody who can watch a game of rugby. I was always someone that, like, I've got to be playing.
Yeah.
If I was injured for a week, I almost couldn't go to games because But on the weekend, sort of watching everything, I'm like, I'm happy to sit on the sideline and have a few beers. So, they were, to be not sugarcoat anything, we were quite poor, so they need a bit of a better showing. But I think it's also hard to see, from a personal perspective, it's really hard to go and watch the club you used to play for and them not go well.
Yeah.
It is hard to see that and just see, and it's not actually so much the results in the field. Because there's a lot of things that are really good. Like, we're still committing to having 3 grades every single week, and they field 3 grades somehow every week.
Yeah.
And it's outstanding what they're able to achieve, and those results aren't. It's just that those results aren't reflected from a points level.
Yeah.
But with what they're doing in the background, and you see, the same old guys that that do the same stuff every year. Paul Gooley and Stu McGoldrick and all those kind of guys that are just that are tireless efforts throughout the day of rugby to do everything. That's what is sort of upsetting a bit. That the results don't give them. You feel the results don't give them that reward. So that's the only thing. So. Not itchy feet to sort of get out there and play. It's much, the life of sitting on the sideline and drinking beers and commenting on other people and saying hey, you definitely could have done it better and they should have made that tackle, even though I was in that position missing that tackle. It's just that's the life for me these days.
So we're moving on to the Razorbacks heading down the M1 for the Battle of the M1 and knocking off the Hornsby side, 31 points to 19.
Jared Grange, mate. Told you. Jared Grange at 9.
Our 9. Back at 9, controlling.
The People's 9, actually.
Yeah, he is the People's 9.
He's called the People's 9 now.
So, look, well done to the Razorbacks. I think you alluded to it last week, they're sort of starting to find their form a little bit in regards to, not your traditional makeup of a rugby side and players who are just genuine rugby players. Now, we have a bit of fun with Grangey playing 9, but he's a rugby player.
He definitely, he is.
So he knows what needs to be done, and he knows the little nuances that are required in that position, and can do that.
They're a very experienced team. Like you just look at the players in that team. They've just got experience. There's probably only a couple of players that haven't been playing for years.
Yeah,
having Rob Peden is obviously huge. So they've got a lot of experience. They know exactly how to control the game and when to do what. So from that first week, there's obviously a bit of a change. COVID hit them and a couple other things. So there was a bit of a fear at the start of the year that they've lost too many players to sort of keep going on with it. But as they're showing that the players are still there and the smarts are still there and they're still playing good rugby. Because I personally I thought Hornsby with back at home they could really with the team they got, Hornsby's got a really good side. But Razorbacks just holding on, so well done. Well, not just holding on, good win.
Yeah, it was it's a 12-point win.
Yeah.
Should you be a little bit concerned if you're in the Hornsby camp?
I mean, the last week's one would be more concerning for me, getting flogged by Carrierong. Because they got hammered, but I don't know if they had players out or something. But they've got some real strike weapons in that side. And I think they just from their team on paper, I feel like they should be doing a little bit better than what they are.
And here's where I think I need to remind myself a little bit of the fact that these guys and these clubs we've been starved of rugby for nearly 9 months.
Yeah.
So expecting to be where we saw them when COVID sort of interrupted again is probably probably a little bit well, it is unfair, and I know that's something I personally got to try and shift my mindset a little bit because I'm wanting to see what could interrupt last year. All right, so let's move on to the Battle of the North, Kings of the North. And who do we crown as the King of the North?
The new Kings of the North.
The new Kings of the North. My Wildcats, baby.
The tide has turned. So the game moved to Woongarra Oval.
Yeah.
So reports of Brenton Ackerman flooding Slade Park is what's coming in Friday night. Or both Ackermans, actually. This is a report that they just basically hosed down Slade Park, so the game had to be moved to Woongarra Oval. Again, I'm not too sure how true that is, but willing to run with it. Game got moved and Warnervale get the win, and the score was
36 points to 26, 5 tries to 4. Sounds like it'd be a cracking match.
Yeah. From all reports, it was just amazing game, and even a couple of Lakes, Kyle writing in, a couple other Lakes players writing in, just saying it was an awesome game.
Yeah.
It was a great to be a part of night rugby, Battle of the North, and
how
two
good.
teams that are at the top as well. Two top 4 teams going at each other. So that's great for rugby up that north end of the coast.
Yeah.
That's unreal. And that's probably the best. That probably would have been the best event they've had in as far as a Battle of the North. Under lights, that place, that stadium, and having Warnervale so competitive now.
Unreal.
And I think it's good that Warnervale's good. I think it's good they've got the win because that is their progression. That is sort of their coming of age because they've they've been close in that sort of battle the last previous years, but them actually getting the win there is huge.
Well, that win by my Wildcats puts them top of the table.
It does.
Yeah, good.
Very blue, the top of the table.
Mate, and that leads us to our second night game, which I went along to and had a bit of trouble coordinating a variety of responsibilities. So,
well, what we'll do is we'll just throw to your video
for our YouTube listeners.
For YouTube listeners.
YouTube viewers.
The viewers.
For you guys, thank you.
We'll throw to the video, and if you're listening, you'll just have to go on YouTube later on. So here's the video.
So I was wandering around the dark corners of the Trojan clubhouse, and here I find Ethan getting prepared and ready to go for what's going to be a cracking match, the Trojans versus the Avoca Beach Sharks, a night match. Ethan, how are the Trojans looking, mate? How have you guys prepared, and what are you expecting out there tonight?
Well, we've got 2 solid sessions this week, obviously with the rain kind of staying away, and that's been a bit of a rarity, I guess, recently. So it's been nice to be out there. Obviously the hit out against Gosford was a bit of a washout in the end, but it was good just to get through and play those structures, see how we went, have a run through the legs, and so I think we're pretty right for today, and everyone's pretty keen, raring to go.
Well, mate, there's an awesome crowd here. It's a great celebration of rugby. Go well and good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
All right, so we're in the change rooms here, getting ready to go, and I've got captain of the Avoca Beach side, Matt Anderson, and mate, it's the biggest day in the calendar for the Avoca Sharks and the Terrigal Trojans, and the home game, obviously, big up for the Terrigal side. Night game, they've got everything going for them. How are the Avoca Beach side going to shut them down and win the game?
Mate, we're just going to be up in their face, putting pressure on Danks. He's going to try and control the game, which he does really well. So we just got to compete on everything, get up in their face, try and cut down his time, and just try and get over our ad line and play our own game as well as trying to defend them. So if we stick to our own game and back ourselves, I think we'll go well.
Well, mate, there's a big crowd. It's going to be a fantastic night. Go well, and good luck.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers.
Well, the match is barely 5 minutes old, and the Terrigal Trojans have scored already. I hadn't even done my interview with our B&B player of the match for the women's match, and the Terrigal Trojans are in. The game has settled down a little bit. We're probably 5 minutes into the match. Terrigal have dominated possession and territory. Let's see what they can come up with during this play. Well, Avoca Beach have warmed into this side after a bit of a shock at the start, conceding a try within the first 30 seconds. The Avoca Beach Sharks are starting to lower the Terrigal Trojans into their match, which is going to be an arm wrestle, and that's going to be their greatest strength. Terrigal haven't been smart enough to avoid that arm wrestle, and Avoca are really starting to dictate and dominate the terms. So we're
12 to 15 minutes into this match, the scores are now 5 points to 3 in favour of the Trojans, but Avoca Beach is starting to look like the better side. The penalty kick is successful. Sees the Trojans extend their lead 8 points to 3 in what has been a tight tussle affair. The most consistent thing's been so far in this first 25 minutes of the match has been the sound of Scotty Thornton's whistle. Hopefully both sides can start cleaning up their act and listening to what the referee's advising them, because it's taking away from what could be a great game. Well, Avoca Beach have elected to take the shot at penalty. Not quite sure if I agree with this. They're dominating possession and recycling the ball at will. There's a really good opportunity for them to take the lead leading into half-time. It's really been it's a tight tussle of affair. The game hasn't really had a chance to open up, and Scotty Thornton's called half-time on what's been let's be honest, a dour and, not a real pretty affair. Terrigal Trojans kicked another penalty goal, leading in at half-time 14 points to 6. It's to be expected with a local derby. A lot of tussle, a lot of bravado, and everything that the Avoca Beach need to really lower this Terrigal side into a close game, because that's the way they're going to win it, if they are to win it. Terrigal Beach need to be smarter, they need to use the ball a bit better, and the Trojans need to really start to use their width after laying that platform with the forward pack. Well, in the space of 30 seconds, we've seen a penalty converted by the Terrigal Trojans to make the score 22 points to 6. Avoca Beach have scored right off the kickoff and brings the scores to Terrigal Trojans 22, Avoca Beach 11. Well, I've got Harry Gray with me, the B&B player of the match, for what's been, mate, to be honest, Harry, I thought a pretty scrappy affair, but you guys hung in there well. Game got a bit untidy at times. How did you see it, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a tough game. Always tough against Avoca. Oh yeah. But yeah, just had to hang in there and just grit it out. Those boys, they're big, they're strong, but end of the day, at the Haven, you can't get much better than this. Good little win.
Good stuff, mate. Well done. Congratulations. Go enjoy the night.
Thanks.
Welcome back. What a great video that was, Barthy. Thank you very much for all your efforts.
Oh, I don't know about great, but it was a challenge.
Talk me through the game. I mean, you've covered it pretty well there. Just sort of, tight tussle from the looks of things.
Yeah, mate, it was. I think I might have been a little bit overly harsh on Terrigal because I expected so much of them. But we also spoke about the fact that they hadn't actually really been tested before.
Yeah.
I think I started to break it down and look at sort of individual performances, and I think for both sides, I could sort of point out 5 or 6 blokes that could have got the B&B player of the match, and just had strong individual performances. I think both sides just sort of lacked that linking and I guess that whole team performance, if you will. I'm going to start by giving a lot of praise to the Avoca Beach side. They played it in a fashion that was going to best serve them to try and win that game. Lots of line speed, lots of pressure. Mitch Jacobs back in his, I think it was his 100th game that game. He was strong. I think the Avoca Beach side did really well to spoil and take a lot of opportunities and space away from the Terrigal side. Terrigal, again, I think through those players and they had a lot of good individual performances. Ethan McGuinness was strong. Danks was his kicking game was really on point,
next
which
level,
is great. Yeah, he did really well. But they were starved of that opportunity of sort of dominating, dictating, and it was a game that was, I called it a scrappy affair, and it was, and it improved in the second half. Terrigal always were in control of the match. They always had a sort of try or a little bit more lead, and Avoca scored right on sort of full time to make it sort of 18-22. I think that sort of scoreline's a fair indication of how the game went. I think both sides will walk away going, we'll win better next time. I think both teams think they've got an opportunity.
It sets up a hell of a game later in the year.
Yeah, it really does. It was
that game might be under lights, surely.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be the same thing. It'd be the rivalry round again, and it'd be back at Wangara for the other game as well. So it could be part 2.
Yeah, so look, atmosphere was brilliant. There's a heap of people there. It was one of the great nights for rugby on the Central Coast in regards to an event. So it was really good from that perspective. The players all had a good time. I tell you what, I really enjoyed. There was a little bit of rubbish on the field. I personally didn't see it because there's my phone going again. I personally didn't see it because I was distracted trying to work a bloody a phone,
microphone,
and microphone and video. But mate, and this message goes out to everyone. And I'm not aiming it at Terrigal players. I'm not aiming it at Avoca players. I'm aiming it at both Terrigal and Avoca players. And I'm not aiming this at Terrigal crowd. I'm not aiming it at the Avoca crowd. I'm aiming it at the Terrigal and Avoca crowd. I'm aiming it at everyone. Bit of a brouhaha, fracas, bit of a push and shove on the field, right? Now, what? I'll try not to swear. What the hell are you doing running 20 metres to get involved? What are you going to achieve?
I think it's that tribalism, isn't it? Helping out your mate.
It's freaking piss weak is what it is. Running 20 metres and no one threw a punch. No one went to the sin bin. Now, I'm not advocating for running 20 metres to throw a punch. I'm advocating for you're freaking 20 metres away. Stay out of it, you goose. It's not that bloody hard.
I agree with you, mate.
And
Boy would never do something like that.
Now, again, and here's my disclaimer. I didn't see the ins and outs. It says I'm going to have people having a massive sook going, oh, you punched and that's why we ran in. Whatever the case may be. It's a freaking tough game. But Scotty Thornton didn't send anyone to the sin bin, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Yep.
Also, so that's the first.
That's the first one.
First one.
Well, we've got a fair bit into the episode before you had your first whinge, mate. So I think this is a good one. Keep going there.
And the crowd, sit down on your picnic rug. Don't get up and merge like you're going to join in. What are you doing? Sit down, shout, cheer, do whatever you want. Don't get up thinking you're a tough guy and you're going to join into the fight. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's the part that I get some stuff in the field. Like, it's a physical game. Like, tempers are going to boil over and everything. But I think for me, it's the crowd perspective of the fighting from the crowd or the anticipation to run on the field and fight from the crowd. Again, I didn't see any of it, but I've been a part of it many times. And the rubbish from the crowd of trying to get involved. It's just for me, it just does not sit right. I get when you're helping out a mate and stuff. That 20 metres seems a bit extreme and obviously a waste of energy.
That's my whole point. It's a physical, tough, and emotionally investing game, and sometimes emotions boil over, and there's a bit of a fight and a punch up, and that happens, and that can be part of the game. We don't want a part of the game, but that is a part of the game. You making a conscious decision to run 20 metres to get involved. What is your intention, other than to escalate it?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't care whether you throw a punch or what. As soon as you're coming in, another bloke's going to run in from 20 metres to stop you doing whatever you're going to do. And another bloke. Send them off. Play bloody 9 on 9. Play bloody 9 on 11, whatever. That's my own personal opinion. Bit of a rant because I hate that shit. I really do. That sort of stuff belongs in other codes. It's not a rugby thing. And it shouldn't be a rugby thing, and there's no need for it.
It just sort of makes things look worse as well, because you don't know what's happening. You obviously, from a crowd perspective, you can't hear what's being said or anything. But seeing someone run, you're like, oh, shit, like this has been something, he said something bad here. And often it's nothing. Often it's just a little bit of niggle.
And the whole point of it is no one got sent to the sin bin.
Yeah.
So nothing
happened.
Yeah, it could have been a relatively minor situation on the two blokes having a push and shove. Someone runs 20-odd bloody metres. The crowd get excited thinking there's going to be a brouhaha. They want to jump in. Like, it just didn't need to happen on what was such a brilliant night of things for the coast. Anyway, that's my rant over.
Other than that, you enjoyed the game, mate.
I did. And
I think it was probably your frustrations there with doing the filming and everything as well, mate. Got the better of you.
There was a bit of that. There's a bit of whistle frustration involved too. But one thing I will say, and I want to really make this very, very clear, it was such a brilliant atmosphere at the rugby club. All the Avoca players got up there. It was exactly what rugby is and is all about. They belted each other for 80 minutes. They had an absolute battle where they really sort of ripped in. It was a tough physical game, and everyone was up the clubhouse. The game was over, having a beer, shaking hands, and sharing stories. It was so from a cultural perspective, it was nothing but fantastic. There's just some knuckleheads need to have a bit of a look at themselves.
That's what makes it even more special that you can do that and have such a tight game. And also for the crowd, entertainment for the crowd. That's the way they're spending their Saturday night. The whole area basically. The kids, everything. That's the way they're spending it. And then you go out for a beer and have a great time with the opposition. They're the two biggest rivals on the Central Coast, and the spectacle of that after the game. That's what grows the game. That's what that moment of being up in that clubhouse and the speeches, everything, and seeing two teams together, that doesn't happen in other sports.
No.
That's the pinnacle of our code. That if anyone's like, what is the point of playing rugby? Like, why should I play rugby over anything else? You show them an image of that. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the stuff on the field. It's the stuff off the field. And that image of two clubs together, last year when it happened, when Terrigal stayed around at Avoca when we were there for that one.
Yeah.
That spectacle there of it wasn't Terrigal and Avoca. It was every single player. It was just a sea of blue and green in together.
Yeah.
Fighting over pizza and just and having beers and just having a chat that is rugby.
Yes, absolutely.
That's the pinnacle of it.
And they both clubs did it really well again. So congratulations to both clubs.
All right, let's get into the women's. Right, Barthy, let's get into the results for the women. The mic just cut out then.
Yeah.
Probably a good thing.
I'll plug it back in.
Am I gone or what?
No, you're still with us. It's playing up.
All right.
Let me start with the Lakes getting a victory over the Warnervale women, 17 points to 15. What a cracking match.
Great game.
3 tries apiece, and it was the golden boot of Kirsty Lawson that proved the difference, kicking the conversion to win the match. So 17 points to 15. The Lakes women getting it done. I personally back the Warnervale women here, so big ups for the Lakes women. Congratulations. What a win.
I feel like whoever I back loses. I don't know. I think I'm probably none from 20 or something so far in this competition. Massive, really good for, again, Lakes and Northern Rugby having such tight games, because it is such a big occasion for the next time they meet up there as well. So, but Lakes from not struggling the last sort of couple of years to get a result like that, and Warnervale obviously quite strong this year as well. So, well done, Lakes.
So the women, the Lakes women, Queens of the North.
Queens of the North. They are the Queens of the North. Dubbed the Queens of the North now.
Yes. So congratulations. What a match.
Well, they've got bragging rights up around Lakes now, don't they, around Slade Park. We've got the Queens, no Kings. I hope they remind me of that.
Mate, I'm just having a look at the, sorry to be a little bit distracted there, pal, but I'm just having a look at the score from the Hornsby v Oranbong match.
Yep.
And I'm saying this could be what makes the Hornsby women win the competition.
Yep.
They kicked 6 from 8 and won 52 points to 15.
Was it 2 years ago there was the issue with the kicking?
Yeah.
In the grand final. The grand final was the biggest one we had the issue.
Yeah, 6. Let me just count that again. Hang on a minute. I might have counted wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4.
You've got to back in the point now, mate.
8. No, that's tries. Yeah, 6 from 8. I was right.
6 from 8.
6 from 8. So that there, obviously, there's 12 points.
Yeah,
that's massive.
It's huge.
Massive. So
it's huge when you get to those tight games.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was the score in that game?
52 points to 15.
52 to 15.
Well done, Hornsby women. What a victory.
It's huge. Yeah, big win. I think they need that to kick things off. I think Hornsby are really good. Just, again, I'm only seeing what's on the socials. I've got to get out to one of their games and watch. But I think they strike me as a really good side this year. And obviously the Oranbong women, it's going to take them a couple of weeks to gel.
Yep.
Can't sugarcoat that. Like it's going to take them a long time. They're playing against teams that have had structures in place, and they know each other. They've been playing with each other for a while. Stroke there. and the Oranbong women have got obviously quite a young side as well.
I actually thought the Oranbong women might have been a little bit. I don't know if the competitors are a bit tough, a bit harsh, but yeah, I thought they might have been. I tipped them to win. I thought they might have been able to put something together, but it's going to take time, as you said.
Yeah. And mate, on to the last game, the Battle of the Beaches.
Yeah.
Terrigal hosting Avoca. Again, the same as the men's. Barthy's put together a little video package for our viewers. So if you are watching, the video package is here.
Sorry.
It's taken me 45 minutes to find a car park here at the Haven Oval. As such, I've missed the opportunity to have an interview with the Avoca girls and the Trojan girls as they're warming up before a big match today. Should be a cracker. Let's get ready for the sounds of Saturday with a bit of a twist. We're a few minutes into this match. Great atmosphere. Terrigal women have started out strong, scoring a converted try in the first 5 minutes of the match. You see a brilliant inside pass, resulting in another Trojans try. Brings the score Trojans 12, Avoca Beach 0, kick to come. Well, after a pretty scrappy first half, it's certainly been the Trojans' defensive structures that have really dominated this match. They're winning 14 points to 0 with 2 runaway tries. They've had plenty of ball and they probably should be quite substantially further ahead in this game, but some passes that have gone to ground have basically kept this Avoca Beach side in it. I'm sure both coaches want a better outing from the women in this second half. Let's see what it brings. So I've got Ann Jones joining us after a fantastic victory of the Terrigal Trojans. She's our B&B player of the match. She had an outstanding game, setting up Sian George for plenty of tries and being that link play that got the Trojans the victory with some plenty of speed out wide. Ange, how'd you find the game tonight?
I found it physical but fun. It was nice to be back on a paddock, so yeah.
Good stuff. Well, great atmosphere, plenty of people out here to support. Congratulations on a great victory, but more importantly, congratulations on being the B&B player of the match.
Cheers, thank you. It's good to be back.
And welcome back. Very good video package, Barthy. Obviously well put together as always. Future videographer. I don't know what I'm saying. Good videos. Mate, what'd you make of the match?
Scratchy.
Yep.
You're
bloody hard to please, aren't you?
Yeah. I might have a grumpy pants on, I think, a bit. I just have so much hope and ambition for those games.
Yeah.
And when I say, we'll put it this way.
I think you've been watching rugby for a long time, and as you said before, you're coming back from COVID and everything's being put together.
Yes.
And it's a huge occasion as well to play that particular game at that time. A bit later as well. So huge occasion. Day before Mother's Day as well. Like it's a big occasion for a lot of people.
I would hope both coaches weren't happy with the performances.
Mm.
And what I mean by that is, and I don't want to sound like I'm being all negative Nancy, but you want to play your best rugby.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the best rugby for neither Avoca or Terrigal. It was still an entertaining match, don't get me wrong. But there was a game where a lot of passes went to ground. That's, the Avoca and Terrigal rivalry has been really come about through fast, high-level skill, great rugby. And there's just a little bit. Tell you what, to be honest with you, the most entertaining and the biggest thing the defence was freaking phenomenal. It was unreal. The women were putting shots on left, right, and centre. There were some bits going on, and that was really good. So it was a game that sort of blew away a little bit in the end, and and the way Terrigal started to play towards that second half, starting to use a little bit more width, starting to use some smarter passing and interchanging of passes. not trying the big ones too so much. That's what saw them score a few tries and start to blow the score out at the end. So yeah, look, it was a good game. I was probably down a little bit on the videos, but
we've seen
one.
so many cracker games between those two sides. You know, in the past, that one at Avoca last year was unreal.
Yeah,
where Avoca won it after the that was unreal, that game. But the Grandy the year before was epic as well.
So the Terrigal women won 31 points to 12, and that 30, I think it was 14-0 at half time.
Yeah,
and so it was a good game. The girls won. It was a little bit of a shame that it was sort of the second hit out, if that makes sense.
Yep. Be better for it throughout the year. All right, well, that wraps up the results of the round. Thanks to Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry. As always, if you need your feet checked, go visit Gus. He checks our feet. You too could be like us, athletes, if you visit Gus and the team at Erina Podiatry.
That's not a singing endorsement.
Well, Barthy, joining us on the line is a representative from the Oranbong women, the people's team.
Yes,
Aiesha El-Kurdi. We said last week they'll be dubbed the team of the people, and we revealed their name. So we thought we'd get somebody else on, or somebody on from the team actually to talk us through what's happening. So Aiesha El-Kurdi, formerly of the Karong player, now a player for Oranbong.
Yeah, the mighty Oranbong team of the people.
Team of the people. Aiesha, welcome to the podcast. How are you going?
Good. How are you?
Going very well.
Aiesha, is it just me, or do you have this feeling of deja vu?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right. So those of you who are listening, and feel free to jump in and lay the boot whenever you feel like it, Aiesha. We've already done this interview. And Bernard did not press record. Our technical whiz, our man who's in charge of all things podcasts, of all things YouTube, has failed to press the big green button. So welcome again.
Yeah.
I've got nothing. I don't know what else to add to it. Let's go to the name, Aiesha. You were dubbed the Oranbong team. How does it sit with you?
We don't like it. We don't think it doesn't. It doesn't gel.
Is it the Oram or the Bong part you don't like?
I think it's the whole name. It just doesn't fit well. So, the girls and I.
What are you proposing?
We're going to change our name.
Yep.
What are you going to?
We're going to go to Karimba.
Karimba. All right. Well, that seems fair. Because it is their team.
I don't know. Well, no, it's not their team. They're the team of the people.
Well, they are the people's team. There was a lot of Karimba that got written in. They got sent in. Obviously, we chose Oranbong, but I feel like if it is their team and they're playing for it, it should be.
Well, I'm not convinced. I was a big fan of Oranbong.
I know you were, and you pushed very, very hard for it. And it got to the first phase where it got open to the public, and then obviously it's just been shit on by everybody who didn't like it. So I think this is probably a bit of feedback from you, Barthy, and to whoever it was to send it in, that name is not going to fly in the Central Coast community.
Well, Aiesha, when you were playing for the team formerly known as Oranbong, you got a bit of a touch up by the Hornsby women, who are a very good rugby side.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, just tell us a little bit about that and why breaking free of that Oranbong tag and becoming Karimba next week is going to be all the difference. So talk us through the game. Obviously, new combinations, learning each other's sort of styles of play. What else can you add?
Yeah, it was just a bit of just need to gel together more as a team and just figure out I guess who goes where and how to actually make the combination work so that it works best for our team and our new name Karimba. So
I think it is
tentatively new name.
It is difficult. You got teams that have obviously played together and girls that have played together for years as well, and then you're getting two different clubs and throwing them together who are playing against each other previously. So it's it's very tough. And I think it's expected to have a couple of rough results as you're building as well, because if obviously if numbers are struggling. So I think hats off to you, Aiesha, and the rest of the team from Karong and from Razorbacks for sticking together and merging a team so you guys can have a game rugby and obviously continue to grow the game, because I think what we've seen in that women's competition over the last few years is nothing but positives with how it's been growing. So it's good that we can have another team in there. So where are you guys training at the moment?
We're training at Arimba's home ground, so yeah, we're training up that way for a bit.
Can we still call you the Wanderbacks?
I mean, you can try.
Oh,
we tried once before and failed. So maybe it's just Karimba for the moment. I think it's just got to be Karimba.
Yeah, maybe.
If we got a representative of the team of the people coming on the potty to say it's Karimba, it's got to be Karimba. I don't know if we can go anywhere else. We tried once before. You tried once before, Barthy, to ransack the whole thing. It's just not going to work.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thank you very much, Aiesha, for jumping on the podcast for 2 interviews or 1.5 interviews.
one recorded one anyway.
One recorded one, one non-recorded one. And go well in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right. Burner, for the women's, let's have a look at the round and see how they go.
See how they go.
Oh, mate.
Let's preview the games for round 6, everyone.
Here we go.
Let's do it. Let's start with the women, Barthy. Who you got for us?
Hornsby women host the Terrigal Trojans.
Oh,
at the wonderful Hornsby home ground of Pennant Hills.
Number 1, number 2?
Number 1.
Number 1. I think this will be a cracker game.
Yeah. Both girls undefeated.
And I'm going to back in Terrigal. I was going to back in Hornsby.
Yeah,
I'm going to ruin their chances. No, I'll back in Terrigal. I'll put the curse on Terrigal. So if Terrigal win this week with my backing, that proves they are still the real deal.
Yeah, I think
the heart's saying Hornsby here because I'd love an upset.
Your heart or my heart?
My heart. But I think it's the Lou Fay factor that sort of pulls you back into reality. No, I'll go Terrigal there, but I think it'll be a cracking game.
Yeah, I really do too.
Well, it's Hornsby's chance to stamp their authority.
Yep.
They're up against the benchmark at home, and they're obviously tracking well at the start of the year. So
I'm really. Geez, I don't know. I'm leaning towards the Hornsby women. I really like the size of their victory, and we touched on their conversion rate. 6 from 8. I know that the team wasn't of the calibre they played against. Against an Avoca or a Terrigal side. There's Terrigal have some competition leading class. They got the best women in the competition in that side. They certainly didn't play like that against Avoca, and I'm just getting this feeling that the Hornsby women are, and they're playing to their potential. So I'm going to back an upset here, and I'm going to back the Hornsby women to win at home against the Trojans.
Big call.
All right, let's move on to the second game.
What do we got?
We've got the Karimba women, formerly known as Oranbong.
Yeah. Well, the new and improved. They've rebranded themselves. Different team.
The rebranded People's Team, Team of the People.
Yep.
Karimba, hosting the Lakes women.
At Pigpen?
At Karimba.
Playing at a Karimba.
At Oranbong Oval.
I still think they're going to need a couple of weeks to gel there. In saying that, they are obviously going to have a lot of home support, which would be great for them. The whole town of Karimba, I think, will be out in full force to support them. But I think the Lakes coming off the win of what they had on the weekend, I think they'll get home. I still think Karimba's a few weeks away from just gelling and really working themselves into the competition.
Well, it's the Karimba women for me.
You're going to back them?
I'm backing the
You're backing the team of the people?
I'm backing the team of the people. The Karimba women will get their first victory as the combined unit. They're going to get that on Saturday. So go well, Karimba.
Is that it?
Yeah, mate, that's it.
2 games.
2 games, 2 buys.
2 buys. Who's the teams that have the buy? Avoca and
the other one.
Warnervale. All right, on to the men's. Has the marketing team missed anything this week?
Well, more than likely, considering the marketing team is currently on suspension.
Who we got?
We got the Terrigal Trojans travelling down the M1 to play Hornsby at Pennant Hills Oval, number 1.
Yeah, I think Terrigal for this one.
So do I. I think Hornsby got some organised. I think Hornsby got some things to sort out, judging by the results.
Yeah, and again, Hornsby's side on paper is unreal. So whether it's just a thing they're not clicking or whatever it is, and maybe there's a couple of good Christmases in there for a few players or something, and they just haven't found their fitness just yet. But when they click, they're going to be good.
So you're backing?
I'm backing Terrigal. I don't know if I said that, but I'm backing Terrigal.
All right, I'm going to leave this game because I think it's going to be the match of the round. I'll come back to that game. We have Avoca Beach hosting the Woy Lions.
Avoca
for me too. I think it's a good opportunity for Avoca to start to work on some attacking structures, if you will.
Yep.
There is absolutely no question from what I've seen over sort of 2 of the 3 games so far. There is absolutely no doubting their commitment and their effort levels, especially in defensive structures and those sorts of things. They're a little bit one-dimensional in attack. That won't win them the competition, in my opinion. So I think it's a good opportunity playing against Woy to start to look to expand some of their attacking options.
I think that counter-attack is a big thing against Woy. If they can just, Woy's got some big bodies that can really truck it up that middle of the field. So I think if they can turn over ball and have that attitude that as soon as it's turnover ball, it's reset and we just go straight away. We don't wait and we don't sort of wait a couple of phases before we go. We just go. And having that, because I think but from what I've seen Avoca the last few years, they've sort of missed that.
Yeah.
But when they've got it, they've consolidated. But having the opportunity maybe this weekend to get the ball and just say, "No, we're just going to go for it. Let's just turn it over and just go."
The Gosford Red Devils, my Red Devils, they host my Wildcats. Jeez, we're going to pick here.
Yeah, I don't know who you're going to go, mate. I'm going.
It's hang on. It's at the home of rugby in Gosford Rugby Field.
Is it?
Yeah. Until it gets moved on Friday.
I think it's going to get moved on Friday.
Where are we going to move it to?
Where haven't they played? Is the question. They've had Ed Long.
They got Paul Oval at
Carrington Street.
No, Carrington Street's near the railway station. No, that's the high school, isn't it?
Yeah.
Carrington Street.
Yeah.
They got the railway one, whatever that's called.
Yeah, it's got a cricket field.
Probably.
The skate park there. Yeah.
Skate
why
park.
not?
Playing the skate park.
You really use the home field advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, hosting at the Gosford Rugby Field.
Yep. I'm going to go the Warnervale Wildcats on this one.
Me too, mate. Me too.
Yep.
I think that's awesome for Gosford to get the win last week, but I think Warnervale themselves might be sneakies for the competition at the moment. They've certainly had a great start to the year. Yep. And that gets me back to what I think will be the match of the round. The Carrarung Wanderers hosting the Razorbacks. Big good game of rugby, this.
Yeah, very good. I'm going to back Carrarung on the size of their win. Yes, this is a tough one because I don't think that the Razorbacks will allow Carrarung to play free-flowing rugby.
Got an idea. I think the Arimba Razorbacks probably play rugby a lot like the Avoca Beach side.
Yep.
And Avoca Beach really negated a lot of Carrarung's attacking flair and got a victory there round 1. It could be a similar style match. I
think it's going to be a tight one, but again, if it's a tight one, it's sort of back Razorbacks to get over in the end. No, I'll stick with my guns. I'll go Carrarung.
Yeah, I'm going the Wanderers as well. I think the Wanderers. Well, I know they've got too much experience and they're 9, 10, 12. And I reckon they probably went to school a little bit a week or two ago against Hornsby or whoever they flogged.
Yeah.
And that could be the shackles that have been broken off and that combination. A week off's a bit of a shame from last week with the bye, but I'm backing the Carrarung Wanderers side. I think they're going to have too much speed and agility out wide. They're going to win for me.
Yep. I'll back you up on that one. I think
you back with us, mate. Where were you?
I was actually thinking. I'm actually going through my head, going, do I change it there? Because my thinking is, I don't want to say this too soon, but it's not meant to be a great week on the weather front.
There you go. There you go. Book something in us.
Oh, book a weekend away. We're not playing this week. I don't think it's meant to be a great weekend on the weather front, which will negate some of Carrarung's high-flying rugby. So that's where I sort of shift my thinking towards just a boggy game that's dictated really well by the forward pack. All 15 forwards in the field for the Razorbacks. You know what? I've talked myself into it. Yeah. Change the tip. I'm going Razorbacks.
I think you actually raise a really good point. I really do. the week of sunshine and the couple of weeks of sunshine we've had is going to keep the ground a little bit drier. So I'm sticking with my original tip of the Carrang Wanderers. But I agree, if it was a bog, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah. I'll go Razorbacks confidently now. Talk myself into it.
Here we go.
Well, that's the games for round 6. Ignore what I said about the weather. If you have been listening, every time I mention the weather, the games get called off. So try and edit the weather part out. The games are on this weekend. Don't book a weekend away. The sun will be shining all week. Ignore the weather, man. Ignore the rain that you'll see outside.
Get out, support your local side, support your local team. Get and support the club that you love.
Get and support the canteen. All right, well, listeners, that'll do us for another episode, and a very unique episode with a very some video experiences for those that are watching. Probably a longer one actually. Now that we've thrown that in, so it might be a bit of a long one for those viewing. But as always, I will say. I should have touched on earlier when you're talking about the statistics and stuff.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of traction with people sending stuff into us as well with, saying this is an event that's happening, or just writing in after games and saying, crack a game, just went to this one, it was great, or hitting us up saying, I'm at the game, can we grab some, a stubby cooler or whatever. Keep doing that. We'll see when we can head out to the game as much as we can. There's some gear to be given away. What happened there? Hiccup halfway through it.
I gave away a heap of coolers at the Avoca Terrigal game. So if I gave you a cooler, post it during the week, will you?
Yep.
If you listen to the podcast.
Yeah, tag us in it, and obviously, just keep spreading the word with everything that we're doing, and allows us to keep doing this. And obviously, the end goal is to further promote the game of rugby.
Absolutely.
So we can all have a good time on a Saturday. So without further ado, anything else to add, Barthy?
Get out there, have fun, enjoy the game.
See ya!